Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wildflowers Fiery Review. What is the Wildflowers Fiery Review? You are probably asking. This is the first episode. It would be weird if you knew already, unless you're me. I don't think you are. It is a weekly podcast where I, Wildflowers, the bunny, go over what's going on in my life, the world, and any topics that interest me. I also have to give credit where credit is due and say that this is very much inspired by the Broski Report, a podcast that I love very dearly. So, what is the Wildflowers Fiery Review? It is an all wildflowers all the time bonanza where I talk about stuff in the real world, my life, media I've been consuming, share media recommendations, research topics I'm interested in, and overall, yap. This is a yap zone, a yapping podcast, a yapcast, if you will. Oh, for those who don't know me, I'm Wildflowers the Bunny, a magical bunny living in a magical garden, and also I'm a lesbian, and yeah. Here's some other really quick relevant information just to kind of, um, keep the garden tidy, keep out pests, if you know what I mean. So, trans rights are human rights. Don't play the turf wizard games. Don't use AI. Free Palestine. Fuck Nazis. Give them the boot or the fist. And I will not tolerate any bigotry, transphobia, homophobia, racism, ableism, Oh, and of course, fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Elon Musk. Fuck billionaires. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of swearing because I really have no interest in trying to censor myself. So that is Wildflower's Fiery Review. And we're going to get into the first topic. So what's on the docket for this momentous first episode? First up, I'm going to talk about Final Fantasy XIV. Oh yeah, also this is going to be a video podcast. So full episodes will be published on YouTube. Of course, there's also going to be an audio version. And you won't be able to see me in the audio, but you will hear my wonderful. So anyways, Final Fantasy XIV. What is the deal with it? Well, I mean, first up, I gotta. No, I gotta. I simply must. Have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with an expanded free trial where you can play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Stormblood expansion up to level 74 free with no restriction on playtime? Well, now you have. And you can do that. You can play all the way through Stormblood, which is the second expansion, all the way through it up to level 70. I think currently you can reach level 90. Not that far. I'm actually in Stormblood myself. My main girl is in Stormblood. I will try not to spoil Final Fantasy XIV. I'm just gonna talk about, why the brainworms why the brainworms are back. Because they are. Also I closed out of my window that had all the stuff I was gonna talk about in it. Yeah. It's gonna be, listen, this podcast is gonna have scuff because those who know me know there will be scuff. For those who are new to me, I'm the scuff queen. You won't find anyone more scuffed than me. But yes, Final Fantasy 14. So why does it fun? I love any game where you get to make your own character, which obviously you do in any MMO. But I feel like for being a mostly silent protagonist, the choices you are given when your character does speak in Final Fantasy, it's just it gives you a lot to shape them while not giving you so much that they're not your character. Like you very much have the freedom to choose exactly what kind of hero. And I really love my girl. My main girl, her name is Zairi Luca, is a moon cat, a moon Makote. Um, and she's my very special girl. She is originally from Gridania, but I started her in oh gosh, I'm gonna forget the name of Limbs. I can't say it. The name is so hard to say. I have to look up this. Limsa Lominsa. Okay, there we go. I'm like, it's something. Goodness, listen, I'm restarting the game because not as my main girl, as a baby alt I have. But I'm restarting playing Final Fantasy XIV because I forgot how to play. Don't want to play on my main girl without knowing high level. So, I'm restarting from. I think it's good because I kind of need the refresh. Okay, so that will be helpful. Yeah. So Xavier Luca though, where's she from? What's her deal? She's from Gradania. So moon cats are a little bit. I like their society better than the sun cat society. But her father is a runaway sun cat, so she is actually half sun cat, half moon cat, which you can tell by her eyes because one is gold, one is silver. Like I said, she's my special girl. Um, Also in Final Fantasy XIV, like your character practically gets deified. So like her being incredibly special and overpowered is like part of it. It's part of it. But yeah, she's from Gardania. She was part of like a little clan of hunters. And like her clan's whole thing is you need to give back to society what you can. Not run yourself ragged. You can't help everyone, but the people you can help, you should help. That's our whole thing, which is also, I mean, I'm gonna say this, like, based her beliefs on my beliefs. Like, I think you should know that you are not going to stay alone, but when you can help, you should help. And I mean, not to the point of hurting yourself, because people who are hurting, people like, that metaphor about like the pitcher, where like if your pitcher's empty, that doesn't help anyone. So you got to keep your pitcher full. You got to take care of you before you take care of anyone else. Help yourself first, then help others. Same with airplanes. Put your own mask on first and put on everyone else's. Well, not everyone else's. On airplanes, you actually only put on children's masks. You should not put your mask on an airplane and then go around putting on everyone else's mask. That's not how it's done. But you get what I mean. You know. That's kind of my girl's whole motto, which I feel, it fits. It fits with many of the Final. I was like, I don't know Final Fantasy. I want to talk about why I love it. It's very hard to talk about why I love it without spoiling it. Um, so I'll just talk about one of the other things I really love in Final Fantasy XIV, which is the game. Um, the fishing is a whole class. The gathering and crafting classes are all classes. Fishing is a gathering class, and it's so good that I was bringing my laptop into work with me at one point so that I could fish. I would literally log into Final Fantasy XIV on my laptop at work to get fish because sometimes fish only appear during certain hours. I was using fishing trackers. I was going insane making sure I got these legendary fishes, and guess what? I got them. My girl, her highest level is fisher. Unsurprising again if you know me. I love virtual fishing. I was just gonna say fishing, but then I realized, you know what? Tangent. We're going off on our very first tangent. I love fishing hypothetically. What do I mean by this? I love fishing in video games. I love every fishing mini game I have ever encountered. There is no fishing game that is too hard for me. I love them all. I just think that fishing is there's something about it that just makes my brain go burr. And maybe it's the collection aspect. I like collecting things. I've always loved collecting things. And I mean, every game, there's a collection of fish you catch. And then in real life, I just think fish are cool creatures. There's so many different types of fish. I mean, fish actually itself is kind of like a misnomer because there's there's so many things under the umbrella of fish that's like, well, what is a fish? That's very actually hard to define. You would think it would be easy. It's, hey, oh, my cats are fighting in the background. Oh no. One moment. Okay, we're back. Where was I? Fishing. Yes, fishing. So yes, collecting fish I think is just cool. I think fish themselves are cool creatures. Malachi, please leave me alone. And man, fish. There's just what is a fish? But there's such cool stuff down deep in the ocean. There's part of me that sometimes wishes I was a marine biologist just because, my God, we never stop learning about the ocean. There's so much in there. I want to know about all of it and how it works and what's going on and what do cool things at the bottom of the ocean look like. So, yes, I love fishing in video games. Now, why do I specify digitally and virtually and in video games and not in real life? Well, mostly because I I don't really like harming animals. I'm not a vegetarian because I do I believe that it's okay to eat animals because that's nature. Nature is how it works. I do think that sorry, was once again interrupted by my cats. Oopsie daisy. Okay, sorry. Was interrupted. Was interrupted by cat fights. That's gonna happen on this podcast. But I will edit them out. So hopefully you didn't hear that. Hopefully you did not hear me scream my cat's name. Oh boy. But yes, so back to why I specify I love fishing virtually and not physically in real life. I I don't like hurting animals. Even though I am not a vegetarian, I like I was saying, I do believe it is okay to eat animals because that is part of nature. Um I where was I? Yeah, so I believe that it is nature for animals to eat animals. I do think that like the capitalism sucks. I think the way animals raised for me are treated are is not always great, and I do, try to be ethical about it. But there's only so much you can do under capitalism. Alas, I would like the world to be a better place for animals, though. That is a huge thing. In fact, also for those of you who don't know, my lifelong dream is actually to become a wildlife rehabilitator. I would love to have a wildlife reserve and take care of animals. Just can't be released into the wild anymore. I think that that is my calling, and I really just that's my goal in life. But yeah, so fishing itself, putting a hook in an animal and then releasing it, I don't really like that. I don't like it in real life. I think it's another thing to like fish for food, but like fishing just for fun in real life, like just hooking an animal in the mouth and then releasing them, that's like kind of fucked up, I don't know. So yeah, that's why I like fishing in video games and not so much in real life. Yeah, man, I thought I had more to talk about with Final Fantasy 14, but I don't want to spoil it. So I guess you know what? I'll dive into some what have I been watching? What have I been watching lately? I honestly do not watch a lot of shows, though I'm trying to get better at it. I'm mostly just trying to get better at consuming media in general. Um, because it's good to be worldly, I think. I'm notoriously bad at consuming. Uh, don't watch things alone most of the time. So a lot of the stuff I watch is gonna be stuff I've been watching with friends. But there are some things I watch on my own. I watch a lot of Dropout content on my own. Those Dropout's pretty good. Game Changer, Make Some Noise. Parlor Room is a new one that's really good. Actually has been great this season. I love Iffy as the host. Um, but what I really want to talk about that I've been watching is Frieren. Oh, Frieren is so good. Frieren Beyond Journey's End is an anime about an elf cannot well no, she can die, but she is gonna live so long, she's nigh immortal. Like elves in this world live so long, they are basically immortal, and the story takes place after she and a group of heroes have defeated the Demon King, and all the heroes are growing old now, and she's not. And the story is about her life after them, after the hero's journey, and the hero's journey, and it's her forming a new party and not learning to empathize, but just realizing that like she can form connections. She really didn't form connections with the people in her party until like the end, and there's this like running theme of just like make the most of the time you have. And I love stories like that. And not just make the most of the time you have, but like remember that every moment is precious. That like every moment you get to live is a gift. Um, which I and the show just does life, and despite being about fantasy races and creatures and like a fantasy world, it does humans, humanity so good. And it's just tone of the show and the way it handles the topics it covers. It's just really and then of course the art style is so gorgeous. Everyone in freaking beautiful. And there's like genuinely breathtaking displays of the magic and the way they like animate the magic. And yeah, I highly recommend Frieren. If you are not watching Frieren, if you have not watched Frieren, I mean, I even know I'm really late to this. Like, this is, if you don't know about Frieren, I mean, everyone's talking about it. So there's just one more voice adding to the pile saying, Frieren, yeah, it's good. Next, I have also been watching the Apothecary Diaries, which, oh my gosh, I'm not that even that far into it, so like I can't even talk that much about it, but it's so good. Like, I really love the dynamic between the main characters, and I've looked up spoilers, so I kind of know what happens, and oh, I really love their dynamic. It is a man who is used to having every girl fawn over her versus girl who refuses to fawn and has no interest and treats him like crap, and he loves being treated like crap, it turns out, and that's just, oh, that's the best. That's the best dynamic. It is like, listen, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a lesbian. I mostly like gay stuff. But there are a few het ships that I will get behind, and Apothecary Diaries is really doing it for me in a way that is absolutely I love their dynamic. And then the show itself is so fun. It's like a mystery detective show, but instead of being solved through like crime stuff, it's like being solved through medicine. Like all the mysteries are being solved with the medicine, and it's so interesting. Um Also it's just like set in a setting that I really enjoy, which is I don't know. I love that sort of court drama and intrigue, like emperors and empresses, harems. I mean, like, obviously, IRL harems are great, but, like, in fantasy, it's fun. The dynamics are fun. I think the dynamics are very fun. Um, and then I guess another show I want to talk about that I haven't actually been watching, but uh, well, I don't really want to rewatch. But I want to watch the sequel to the show. Okay, I want to talk about Inuyasha. That's where I'm going. I want to talk about Inuyasha. I used to love Inuyasha. I say used to. I still love Inuyasha. Um, which I mean, this is a super old show. Those of you who don't know, Inuyasha, it is about a half dog demon and a girl from the future. She goes into the past through a well in her backyard and ends up in feudal Japan. She unknowingly unbinds him. She's the reincarnation of his ex. There's so much drama. And oh, speaking of straight couples I will die for Inuyasha and Kagome. I, till the ends of the world. Yes, 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 yes. Again, it's a situation of a girl who like literally makes him sit and yells at him all the time and walks all over him. Like, strong girl. And like, not that he's not a strong male character, but like, strong girl who like overrides the man and steps all over him and is the one who's in charge. That's my kind of so yeah, I love Inuyasha and Kagome. I love that show. It truly is like comfort food for me. Like soup. I love it. But I actually want to talk about the sequel, which I haven't watched, but there is a sequel to Inuyasha. I believe I think it's called. I have to. I'm not remembering off the top of my head. It is Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. Oh my goodness. It's about his and Kagome's two daughters. Oh. I'm gonna scream. They had kids and they're so cute and they have a story now and I need to watch it. I've gotta watch Princess Half Demon. Also, the name of it is so good. Princess Half Demon. Like, oh, it's everything I want out of a show, and I truly I need to. You know what? I'll start watching it, and next episode I will have watched some of it, and I will report back here. Um, I think that's really all I want to talk about with shows I've been watching. So hell yeah, I've talked about shows I've been watching. We've been yapping. Malachi just jumped up on my desk to say hi. Do you want to say hi, Malachi? No. He's very private when it comes to speaking on microphone. And no. So I'm petting him, but he's not saying hello. I'm sorry, but he is here. Um, so I guess next up I'll talk about like some real life stuff I have been dealing with. I have a pinched nerve in my back, and that sucks. Um, but it's okay because I have gotten the physical therapy, or I haven't gotten, like, it's not better immediately therapy, but I have the necessary stuff to do the physical therapy that will make my back better. So that's what I have been doing. But also, that's again, for those who know me, this first episode will be confusing a little bit for those who don't know me, but for those who do, I have missed a lot of my streams lately. I am also a Twitch streamer. Hello, for those who are new. I'm a Twitch streamer. And I've missed a lot of my streams because I've been dealing with some health complications, and that has been part of it. The back pain has been part of it. It's thankfully it doesn't hurt to sit, which is good, but I just need to make sure I'm sitting with good posture. Gotta make sure I'm not slouching. Gotta sit up straight, keep my back straight, sit properly, put my weight in my pelvis, all that good stuff. Um, the other reason I miss streams is because I sleep too much, and that is an actual health issue. The fatigue is real, and I finally have a consultation set up with a sleep doctor to talk to me, and then I will be doing an overnight study where, like, they hook me up to a bunch of machines overnight in a hospital. So they can figure out what's wrong with me. Please, I wanted to know for years what's wrong with me. Please tell me. Just joking. We'll never definitively find out what's wrong with me. Just, it's how it is. Oh my goodness. Um, yeah. So that's the real life. That's my little real life health update. And since I talked a little bit about streaming, I feel like I should also, like, okay. Uh, I don't know how much VTuber news I'm going to do on this podcast. I mean, like, as I said, I'm a streamer, I'm a VTuber. I'll probably talk about stuff that's going on in the streaming and VTubing world. And right now, I feel the biggest news that's going on in the VTubing world is the whole Anna Valens and Kirschfestal hullabaloo, which I shouldn't even call it that because it's people are sending death threats to a journalist. What the fuck? Stop. Just what the fuck? Full stop. What the fuck? Don't send death threats to people. Period. I don't care who. I well, send death threats to Nazis. I don't really give a fuck. But don't send death threats to anyone else. And Anna Valens is an incredible journalist. I've followed her stuff. Um, it's depressing to see what she's going through, and to see that fucking Kirschverstall got the article taken down. It's ridiculous because she is right wing. She is. Like, there's no denying it. She talked about the great replacement theory. I mean, she works for Mythic Asmongold's company. Like, yeah, she's right. And honestly, fuck her. Fuck her. Like, what a horrible person. Crazy. It's bonkers to me that, like, I don't even have the words for it. I mean, we all know that it's transmisogyny, transphobia. It's a whole mess, and it's disappointing to see the vocal minority be so loud. And I just really feel like the majority of people who are not right wingers, who are not transphobic, like the majority of the sane people in the world, to stand up and go, hey, this is crazy, support Anna Valens, and fuck right wingers, get those fucking grifters out of the community, and don't give them the time of day. Like, yeah, it's wild. That's been the biggest news I feel in the video world. I mean, also a bunch of graduations. I don't think I'm really gonna cover those. That's not the kind of news I cover. I'd kind of want to cover more. I don't know, like, personal stuff, and I guess this isn't technically personal because it's not directly involving me, but like as someone who supports Hannah Valens, I just wanna be very clear that I support her and also don't support right wing grifters. Oh boy. Yeah, VTubers. Come on. If you're not standing up for our trans friends, what are you doing? Which I guess, hey, quick shout out. Speaking of real world stuff, I don't know. This should be published May 26th. Yeah, this should be going out May 26th. But in America, if you live in the US and are listening to this, I implore you to call your senators, tell them to block the budget that is going through. It will end medical coverage for upwards of 14 million Americans. It will put bans on gender affirming care. It will cut SNAP benefits. It is a detestable, vile bill, and the GOP should be ashamed. But they aren't, because they're all heartless ghouls. So if you live in the US and you have a representative, you have a senator, call them, tell them to oppose this bill. Whether they be Democrat or Republican, call them and tell them your opinion. It does matter. Speaking up is important. It doesn't always feel like it works, and this bill might go through, even if we all call. It still might go through. But you have to have it on record. You have to have the opposition on record, because they can go back and they can cite the record. They can cite the people who opposed it. They can say that people were opposing. It's important. Calling your senators is so important. So yeah, that is my plea to any American followers. Please, please just call your senators and oppose the crazy shit that is going down in our country now. And you know what? Even if you're listening to this at a later date, even if this bill is passed or not passed, there's probably some other crazy shit going on in the US government that you probably want to oppose. So like, I don't know, go to fivecalls.com, or is it .org. Let me look it up, because this is actually a very important stuff and you should go here. Fivecalls.org. Literally five, the number five, calls.org. I will put it in the show notes or something, but yes, 5 calls. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Call your representatives. Call them. Make them listen to you. Yeah, okay. That is the news section. I guess now we're going to go into this. Huh. I lost my train of thought. That's also probably gonna happen. I'm gonna be yapping for a long time on this podcast. I'm definitely gonna be losing my train of thought on occasion. It's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. But yeah, okay. For the next topic in this podcast, book club? Book club. Do we want to do a book club? Would any of you be interested in doing a book club with me? I think I need to get back into reading. For those of you who don't know, I actually was an English major in college. Yet I have, unfortunately, like, not been reading as much as I used to. I think for a long time it was definitely like burnout from being an English major, where like I was reading multiple books weekly, and like not short books, like novel books, and not just reading, but having to do analysis and write essays. And it was so much reading and so much analyzing that like when college was over, I needed a break from books. Not that I didn't read, like I still read other things, and I do consider there's like a lot of reading in video games if you think about it. And yeah, so I listen to a lot of podcasts. I consume a lot of things. Literally said earlier I'm bad at consuming. Yeah, I'm not bad at consuming podcasts and video games. I gobble those down, mainly because, so okay, other tangent. I have ADHD, and I have the kind of ADHD where I like to have multiple things going on at once. And part of that is I like to play video games while listening to podcasts. I like to multitask. Multitasking makes my brain so happy. So I multitask, which is podcasts and video games. That has been my drug of choice, along with weed, for the past couple of years. um, so Anyways, book club. I do want to get back into reading though, because I do at the core of my very being love words and love what you can a story. And I I just want to get back into reading. I have the Barnes and Noble Nook app on my iPad. I share an account with my family, and my mother is a voracious reader. So she has like hundreds of books in our account. So I have made a shelf for myself that is books I would like to that anyone can access. So like if she reads a good book, she can add it to my list for me. I think is really great because I also love talking about books with other people. Um so that's why I was thinking of doing a book club for this podcast. I'm not sure. I'll maybe make a poll of like what books we could read, and I'll have a link to the poll, of course. Actually, you know what? Let me go grab my iPad so I can look at the books and I can like start describing some of them and like what the synopsis. Yeah, I will pause. Okay, I am back. Let's see. I feel like I know probably what I want the first book to be because there is a book I have been meaning to read that a friend recommended to me. Um, that okay. Where last night at the Telegraph Club. That is the book I was thinking of reading. Where do I where do I read just the descriptions? How do I do that? I don't. Ah, here we go. Okay. Okay. So this is the description of a book that I think I would like to be our first book. I will, like I said, I'll probably put a few others up. I will make a poll just in for some reason. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Um, because this was recommended to me by a friend and I have been meaning to read it. So, 17-year-old Lily Who can't remember exactly when the feeling, that desire to look, to move closer, to touch. Whenever it started growing, it definitely bloomed the moment she and Kathleen Miller walked under the flashing neon sign of a lesbian bar called The Telegraph. Suddenly, everything seemed. But America in 1954 is not a safe place for two girls to fall in love, especially not in Chinatown. Red Scare paranoia threatens everyone, including Chinese Americans like Lily. With deportation looming over her father, despite his hard won citizenship, Lily and Kath risk everything to let their love see the light of day. So, yeah, I have heard very good things about this book and have really wanted to. So, that is definitely very high on my list um, for books um, for a book club. Another one I'm thinking of doing for a book club that I've also been meaning to read for a very long time is called Clara and the Sun. Um okay. Here's the story of Clara, an artificial friend with outstanding observational qualities who, from her place in the store, watches carefully the behavior of those who come in to browse and those who pass on the street outside. She remains hopeful that a customer will soon. Clara and the Sun is a thrilling book that offers a look at our changing world through the eyes of an unforgettable narrator and one that explores the fundamental question, what does it mean to love? And now, I did say earlier, fuck AI, and I do want to say something. I, for a long time, have been fascinated by the idea of artificial intelligence, robotics, robots that are human like, and what it would mean for a hello, Copelia. Oh my goodness, she fell off the desk, but she made it. Hello. Would you like to say hi? Okay, she's being quiet. I don't know why. She's just okay. Well, she's here. She's here now. We love her. But yeah, so I think the way AI is being used right now, where it's just stealing from artists and writers and people who actually do the fucking work, and putting out garbage. Yeah, no, that's bad. Fuck AI, the way we are using it. But I have, for a very long time, been fascinated by the idea of what it means to be sentient. And the thought that a robot might one day have like human thoughts and feelings is fascinating to me. So I think this book will just be very interesting. And I also think the question of what does it mean to, and also like they said, like what does it mean to love? What is love? Is such a fascinating question and philosophy to explore that. Yeah, I just think that this would be a very good book for book club. And then there's probably some others that I've read before that I will just, as um because I love them so much, I want to share with people and talk about them. So there's some books that I will probably suggest for book club that I have read before, but want to reread because they're good and it's fun to reread books. I definitely know one of them will probably be Gideon the Ninth. I have been meaning to reread that book for forever because I started reading the sequel and it got to a point where I was like, I am not in a mental state that can handle the devastation this book will do to me. So I'm going to stop reading. Back later when my mental health is, and my mental health is so much better than it was when I first started reading that series. So I would love to go back and reread Gideon the Ninth because Harrow the Ninth is the sequel. I think it's uh there's 4 books, maybe 5 in the series. I don't know. I don't actually know how long the series is or is going to be. I know that I got stopped on the second book because of mental devastation. But that's not why we should still read it because it's good. Um but yeah, but anyways, other books I would like to reread. The Starless Sea by Aaron Morgenstern, who also wrote another of my favorite books, The Night Circus. But anyways, so The Starless Sea is from the best-selling author of The Night Circus, a timeless love story set in a secret underground world, a place of pirates, painters, lovers, liars, and ships that sail upon a starless sea. Zachary Ezra Rollins is a graduate student in Vermont when he discovers a mysterious book hidden in the stacks. As he turns the pages, entranced by tales of lovelorn prisoners, key collectors, and nameless acolytes, he reads something strange, a story from his own childhood. Bewildered by this inexplicable book and desperate to make sense of how his own life came to be recorded, Zachary uncovers a series of clues, a bee, a key, and a sword that lead him to a masquerade party in New York, to a secret club, and through a doorway to an ancient library hidden far below the surface of the earth. What Zachary finds in this curious place is more than just a buried home for the books and their guardians. It is a place of lost cities and seas, lovers who pass notes under doors and across time, and of stories whispered by the dead. Zachary learns of those who have sacrificed much to protect this realm, relinquishing their sight and their tongues to preserve this archive, and also of those who are intent on its destruction. Together with Mirabelle, a fierce pink-haired protector of the place, and Dorian, a handsome barefoot man with shifting alliances, Zachary travels the twisted tunnels, darkened stairwells, crowded ballrooms, and sweetly soaked shores of this magical world, discovering his purpose in both the mysterious book and in his. And wow, it's so good. Okay, I really love that book. Like, I love The Night Circus, but wow, the Starless. Um, yeah, I might almost I might also have us read The Night Circus for book club though because oh boy do I love it. I love The Night. Oh, good. Um, yeah, what other books do I have? I think that's good. That's a good couple of options for a first book. So yeah, I will make a poll after this podcast, and I'm gonna yeah, we're gonna do a book club. I think. I know I was asking, but deciding we are. Or at least I'm going to try to read a book a week and report back on it. A book report and then chat and stuff, which will also be fun. I love yapping about books. So I'll do that. I think it'll be fun. You can read along if you want to, then you'll be part of the book club. But I mean, you don't have to read along. Summarize and analyze and talk about the book, and then choose. Maybe you want more. But there definitely will be spoilers when I talk about books because I will be doing like comprehensive overview. I think there likely will. Okay, next segment. I think every episode, I mean, given that I am so plant themed, I think it would be fun to start doing plant research, like just read about plants. Just to app about plants. And I want to start with okay, so you see my background. There are many plants. Let's start with one of the plants behind me. And I'm going to say we're going to start with the tree. We are going to start with this beautiful tree. It is actually a specific type of tree. Um so it is a type of plant that is known as cassine. Um I chose this tree for my background actually because um I have a character named Cassine and an original character who I love to write about. And yeah, her name comes from this plant. It is part of the the bittersweet family, which is like a whole theme with her bittersweetness. Sweet peas are also part of this family. Um, but yeah, I just found this tree and thought it was really interesting and pretty. And yeah, they're called Cassine trees. There's not a lot about them on Wikipedia, which is where I would hope to learn about them. Um, but no, we'll learn what we can. Maybe this will be a short segment every week. It'll be a long segment. I guess it'll depend on the kind of plant I'm researching. But yeah. So cassine trees. What are they? It's a genus of trees of the plant family Celestraceae. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So hey, stop. Sorry, Copelia is in the background. And okay, here is a tree that is part of the Cassine family. It's called Cassine peregrina. It's the kind of tree in the background of me, also known as Cape saffron, bastard saffron, and forest spoonwood. It's a medium-sized tree with fragrant flowers, decorative fruits, and a saffron-colored trunk. It is indigenous to the Afro-Montane forest of South Africa. Cape saffron is an evergreen tree, which is usually around 2 to 5 meters in height, but can sometimes grow to 15 meters in the right conditions. The tough, round, leathery leaves are usually dark green, but can be copper, orange, or scarlet depending on growth. The bunches of small, bisexual flowers have a strong but pleasant fragrance, and the fruits are berries that appear as green and then gradually darken to purple and black. The trunk eventually assumes an orange saffron color as the gray bark flakes off, exposing the orange. Natural distribution. It is naturally distributed throughout the southern and eastern parts of South Africa, including Eswatini. Here it grows in a wide variety of habitats, from deep Afro-montane forests to coastal dunes and rocky mountain slopes. In addition to the most common and widespread subspecies, there are two rare dwarf subspecies, Barbara and Affinis. Oh my gosh! The name Barbara has important significance to me, which occur in restricted pockets in the Western Cape. It is now cultivated as an ornamental garden tree throughout South Africa. So, what is the human usage? All right. Cape saffron has been used locally for centuries for its beautiful hardwood, which assumes a yellowish orange color and was traditionally valued for furniture. Its more common use now is as an attractive ornamental feature in gardens like mine. It grows slowly, but is very tough and resistant to wind. In exposed positions, in direct sun or wind, it will tend to grow shorter, lower, and denser. It forms an attractive dome shape with a saffron-colored trunk and often multicolored foliage. The fruits attract a great number of birds, and the flowers have a pleasant fragrance. Wow, that's very cool to know. Also, I've never heard of Eswatini because I don't know a lot about Africa. I will be honest. So you know what? I kind of want to learn about. We'll go off on tangents whenever I'm on Wikipedia. You always go down a rabbit hole, and I'm a rabbit, so you'll find me in a rabbit hole. So I'm curious to learn about Eswatini. So it's formerly the kingdom of Eswatini, also known in its formal official name Swaziland. Kingdom of Swaziland. It's a landlocked country in southern Africa, bordered by South Africa on all sides except the northeast, where it shares a border with Mozambique. Interesting. Um, it's a developing country that's classified as having a lower middle income economy. The government is an absolute monarchy and the last of its kind in Africa. It's been ruled by King Mswati III since 1986. That's fascinating that it's the last absolute monarchy in Africa. That is crazy. Wow, very interesting. So the history of Eswatini. Artifacts have been found indicating human activity dating back to the early Stone Age around 200,000 years ago. Gosh, there are some places that are so old. I mean, everywhere on the earth is so old. But it's just crazy when you think of this country has been in some form around for so long. And I'm as I've mentioned, I'm from the U.S. I'm from America, which obviously there is a rich and deep history of the indigenous people here that have been around for so long. They have an incredible society and culture, but the United States itself is a very young country that does not have as much history. So it is crazy to read about a country where the line activity dating back to the early Stone Age around 200,000 years ago is part of its history. The earliest known inhabitants of the region were Khoisan hunter-gatherers. See, Swazi settlers. Okay, 18th and 19th century. So okay, that's still pretty pretty far back. Yeah, there was, of course, British indirect rule. Okay, I mean, I'm not surprised. So there was British indirect rule over Swaziland from around 1906 to 1968. But independence since 1968, following the elections of 1972, the Constitution of Swaziland was suspended by King Sobhuza II, who thereafter ruled the country by decree until his death in 1982. At that point, Sobhuza II had been the king of Swaziland for almost 83 years, making him the longest reigning monarch in history. What? That I had no idea. This is fascinating. I'm so glad we went down this rabbit hole. Holy crap. A regency followed his death with Queen Regent Delaware Shwangwe as head of state until 1984 when she was removed by Lekoko and replaced by Queen Mother Fombi Twala. I sincerely apologize if I'm pronouncing these names. I'm not very familiar with African languages, so I'm my best. If anyone out there does know how to pronounce these names and want me correct, I am happy to have anything I say on this. Okay, another tangent. Anything I say on this podcast that you're like, hey, that's wrong, you actually got something incorrect, please let me know. Please send me corrections. I like learning. I love learning, and I don't want to be spreading misinformation. So, of course, if I get things wrong, we'll have a correction course. Don't be afraid to tell me I got something wrong or did something wrong or I need to learn or that I was being ignorant. Like, I want to know and change and be better. So, if I fuck up, hold me accountable. Tell me and I will change. I will do better. I will. But I do need to know. So, yeah, I know I might not be getting these names right. If someone out there knows the correct pronunciations, please do. So, okay. Queen Mother Nfumbi Tfala Mswati III, the son of Nfumbi, who was crowned in 1986. Oh, okay, wait. No, I got the sentences combined. Sorry. Okay. So, after the longest reigning monarch in history, Sobhuza II, a regency follows death, which was Queen Regent Zweli Shwangwe. Okay, and then she was removed by the Lekoko and replaced by Queen Mother Nfumbi Tfala. Okay, then Wadi III, the son of Nfumbi, the Queen Mother, was crowned in 1986 as king and Ngwenyama of Swaziland. That is a very brief overview of Eswatini. There's some more information I can probably get on here, but I don't know. A lot of stuff I'm maybe as interested, but I do think that it's very cool to learn about places you've never heard of before. And we learned that, oh my gosh, they had the longest reigning monarch in history and are not one of the only absolute monarchy remaining in Africa. That is very interesting that all started from looking up the tree that is in my background. Um, cool. I don't know. That was fun. I hope you all had fun. I hope you enjoy this segment where I just research plants because I think plants are neat. I maybe one day I'll also do a segment on fish because I think fish are cool and we'll just learn about various types of fish and I'll talk about them and it will be fun. Oh yeah. Um, let's see. Next, I probably will be doing a lot of updates about the tabletop RPGs I am in. I mean, mainly by this, I mean the D&D campaigns I am a part of. Um, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I think Dungeons and Dragons incredible. TTRPGs are so fun. I say TTRPG because I run a campaign that is not using the Dungeons and Dragons. It is using GURPS, a modified GURPS Lite. For those of you who don't know what GURPS is, it is generic universal role playing system. It's very different from Dungeons and Dragons. For instance, you only use six-sided dice. You use three of them, and you roll three of them all at once, and you want to actually roll lower numbers than your ability scores. So yeah, you want to roll low. A critical success in GURPS is 3 ones on the die, and a critical failure is 3 sixes on the die. Actually, also 2 ones and a 2 is also a critical. There's two options for critical success, one option for critical failure. Actually no, there's also 2 options for critical failure. My apologies, I was wrong immediately. So either triple boxcars, which is 3 sixes, is a critical failure, but also if you numerically fail by more than 17. Yes, that is also that's very hard to do. You have to have like really high stats to be able to fail by 17. So, yeah. Really low stats. Sorry, I'm not very good at math. Um But yeah, I think GURPS is really fun, mainly because I listen to a podcast called The Film Reroll. Speaking of podcasts, I actually was going to talk about this in a later segment, but hey, jumping into it. One of my favorite podcasts uses the GURPS system for their TTRPG, and it made me love the system because it's really fun to listen to them, and they have a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fun listening to them. So I think it's a very good podcast. Yeah. But my tabletop RPG. Yeah, I'll probably be talking, like, I'll probably give updates about them in future episodes. Probably not this one because I do realize I am running a little bit long on time, so I kind of want to get into what I've been listening to, which, hey, I have been re-listening to episodes of the film Reroll. Specifically, their Halloween episodes, even though it's not at all the season. I just really like their Halloween episodes. Oh, and I mean Halloween. Okay, so, okay. Rewind! I need to explain what the film Reroll is. The Film Reroll is a podcast that takes movies and plays them through as a tabletop RPG using the GURPS system. So what does that mean? To quote the podcast, it means they start at the beginning of the movie with characters from the movie as role-playing characters, and then they make decisions and they roll dice, and the dice will say whether they succeed or fail, and that changes the story. And also they can make different choices than the characters because they have agency. They're not the story. And it's really fun and funny, and I love the people they get on. They're a very fun cast. And yeah, it's a really good podcast. But I've been listening to the Halloween episodes, and I don't just mean the episodes that were set around Halloween or our Halloween movies. I mean specifically when they were re-rolling the movie Halloween, which Michael Myers, that whole series. Um so yeah, they do actually. So they re-rolled the first Halloween movie, and then they ended up doing Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, but not the movies Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, but the continuation of their Halloween, the first movie. It got sequel, so like they kind of did like their own original campaign, and it is so good. Oh my goodness, I really love those episodes. I mean, I'll probably talk about the show a lot on here because I listen to it a lot, and in my what I'm listening to segment, you'll probably hear me a lot and talking about how much I love it. Oh, they just started doing a reroll of The Cabin in the Woods, and I'm so psyched because that is one of my favorite movies of all time, and the gimmick they are doing for it is so good. I mean, the gimmick only works if you've been a fan of the film reroll for many years and have like listened to all of the episodes like I have. But it is such a cool gimmick, and I highly recommend listening to all of their episodes anyway, and then listening to the latest ones because it's really good. Though actually, you don't have to listen to every episode to like get into the show because it's a different movie every time. They do have like movies that take multiple parts, but like I think the longest one is 9 parts, I want to say, maybe 8 parts. But most of them are like 2 to 4 parts. So like it's really easy to just like choose a movie you like and listen to them totally fuck it up. It's real fun. Highly recommend. Absolutely everyone should listen to that show. It is so. But yeah, the Halloween episodes are really fun. Because they focus on different characters than the movie does. I mean, not entirely, but like one of the characters, specifically Danny Hodges, gets much more of a role, and the person who plays him in the film reroll, Andy Hoover, is just absolutely delightful. So his take on the character is really cool. It's also the first I think it's the first one where Scott Aiello joins the cast, and he is an absolute delight. Jaws Vammer is also the third cast member, and Paulo Quiros is the DM for that one. And oh my goodness, it's so much fun the way that Halloween changes and the way it works. It's a really good, highly recommend. Have been listening to that and enjoying myself immensely. Other things I've been listening to, other podcasts I've been listening to. I just want to do a few quick shout outs because I'm gonna wrap this up with what I'm listening right now. So yeah, I've been listening to So True, a podcast by Caleb Heron. It is really good. He just had on an amazing guest. My gosh, I need to remember her name because I'm bad at remembering. Um, Oh, I really love Lady Delaria. Oh my gosh, she was on Orange is the New Black, which honestly I haven't watched a lot of, but she was on that. She's a lesbian. She's super cool. Oh my gosh, her episode was great. But yeah, go listen to So True. It's another very good podcast. If you like podcasts, I'm giving you podcast recommendations at like every episode because I love listening to podcasts, which is why I'm making one. Also, I love podcasts so much, I wanted to make one. Music wise, what I've been listening to is I have been diving back into the original Broadway soundtrack for Wicked because sometimes you gotta. Okay, I have not seen the new Wicked movie. Oops, I really want to, but I haven't yet. I would say no spoilers, but obviously I know what happens because it's Wicked and I listen to the soundtrack all the time. Also, like I don't really care about spoilers most of the time. I usually spoilers make me more excited for things. So yeah, I think the journey is more important than the ending. So spoilers never tend to bother me. There are a few things I will say don't spoil me on, but like if I don't want to be spoiled on something, I will say so. Most of the time, I don't care. I of course I respect other people's wishes when other people don't want to be spoiled on things, but like me personally, it's not a big deal. Um, so yeah, I have been listening to the Wicked soundtrack. It's really good. I like the Wicked sound. And then my final music recommendation is one that will probably come a lot because it's my favorite band. But this is the first episode, so I gotta get my favorite band shouted out. It's Bastille. I freaking love Bastille. Their songs are like comfort food for my soul, even if they make me cry. Yeah. I don't have any specific songs this week, but I'll probably try to pull like specific songs in future episodes. Um, but that's what I've been listening to. That's what's been up with me. This has been Wildflowers Fiery Revue, and I hope to see you next week and weeks hereafter. If you like this podcast, check out my streams on Twitch, and otherwise, keep hopping. I'll talk to you later. Bye.